Game number 1, the grand final. Nothing changed against Granit Gaming. And again, some people might wonder now, who is nothing changed? So pretty much nothing left has been, ever since HGC was cancelled by Blizzard, been funning around with their team name for a long time. They called themselves, in some tournaments, still the leftovers, in others they called themselves nothing left. Then they switched into Nautilus support to make fun of Linked a little bit. And in this series they renamed themselves into Grzegorz and some other Polish stuff that is difficult to pronounce if you're not Polish, because they think it's funny to try and make caster pronounce stuff. At some point I just said, I'm done with this shit, because, well, it's hard for people to understand which team they're watching if the team name always changed. So pretty much nothing changed. That's what I'm going to call them from now on, because nothing changed. The only thing that is a little bit different is that they switched Nick for DAB, or well, the other way around, DAB for Nick. So the rest of the lineup is still the exact same, and just so that you guys have a bit of an idea what's happening here. Obviously, as I explained in the previous videos, now that a new season of the HeroesHype Premier Series has started, and also the last season of Division S ended, both of those teams, or all of the teams actually, had slight changes. Granit Gaming, for example, they lost Svampgrota and Fury, both of them currently not playing anymore, at least not on this competitive level here. And instead we have Copenhagen and Chris actually joining Granit Gaming. And since the question is always coming up, Chris has pretty much said that he's not going to stream Heroes more or less full time anymore, that he doesn't really focus on the game as much any longer for his stream, and that his streaming in general is going to take a step back, but he will still play the entire season here for Granit Gaming. Now when it comes to the picks, we have Nick right away with Vala. Vala obviously an amazing hero right now after the buffs that Blizzard has generously put in for her. And we have Copenhagen on Rexha. So Rexha, still one of the strong heroes on the offlane. We've seen him banned in multiple games now, just previously. And, well, Malfurion and Rexha both taken. So Henning these days actually switching a lot more into the Rexha setup. But there's Chen. We've seen this particular pairing actually quite a bit already. Chen against Rexha. And Chen does actually pretty well against Rexha, especially after he gets level 4 and level 7 talents and can start to jump in against the hero itself. So this is something where Rexha has to be careful. If he moves a bit too far out, he can definitely pay the price for that. We've seen this in other series of this tournament already. Tyrande gets picked by Linked, so we would still expect them to go into a tank that can provide a stun that Tyrande can follow up on. And Maiev gets banned out too, against Blakitny in particular. That hero is oftentimes banned because he's very, very strong with this. The Diablo and Tyrande combo is also shut down, as we're having Granit Gaming with the ban on that hero. You can still play it around with Johanna. Muradin, yes, but we don't see him as much here anymore. But Johanna is still a solid pick. Garrosh is obviously open. The Anuburak aggression has also fallen off slightly. Then again, Tyrael is still up as well, which could actually be taken also by Granit. But now that I think about it, actually ETC hasn't been picked yet either. So ETC is also out there, and with Vala, ETC is fantastic. And now that I think about it, ETC has been banned out immediately. So I kind of scratched that. Instead, we're seeing the Johanna pick that I've just been mentioning. Tai is actually playing on Liming this time. And Chris, he might actually be the one who ends up with Liming. Again, they could shift that over. And Chris has focused quite a bit on either Hanzo, who's banned, Vala, who's taken, or Liming. So we could see that for them too. Either way, Junkrat gets picked at this point. And what is Mopsy on the front line going to rock now? Are we going to see that Garrosh maybe? Is it going to be a completely different setup for them with more aggression? It's Ganis. Bit more popular lately, especially since Lauber pretty much brought him back into a lot of the games that they played in the Division S playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, for Europe. But now the last pick for Granit Gaming. What are we going to get from them? We have for Chris or Tai, depends a bit on how they're running it here. They need a little bit more damage. And we have Hammer. It's Hammer time again. We saw Hammer a lot from Washed Up and now from Washed France. And it's Hammer time once more on Volskaya Foundry. And with this, we're heading straight into the first game of the best of 3 series here at the grand final of the HeroesHype Premier Series. Game number 1 in the grand final. Pony Boss for nothing changed on Chen. We have Blickidney on Junkrat, Mopsy on Mal'Ganis, Nick on Vala, and Linked on Tyrande. On the right side of the map, Henning on Malfurion. We have Koopmagen on Rexha. We see Lauber on Johanna and Tai on Li Ming. Chris is on Sergeant Hammer. Typical right there. They are putting the German player on the Panzer again. You don't want to have someone from the UK, Tai is from England, onto a tank. If there was a boat in play, that's a different story. I mean, we're talking Viking longboat. That's really when you want to have a Brit in action. I mean, they are rocking with those, ruling the seas for just the longest time. But in this case, the German again with the tank. Same as with Washed France when they actually put Hazo Ops on the hero. So, with this saying, we're actually looking straight into our first little fight here. A bit of a skirmish in the mid lane. But we're gonna probably see that rotation away here pretty quickly. Boss at this point seems to have a little bit of issues here. Well, it gives us an opportunity to quickly talk about the talents as well, especially the Eye of the Tiger, pretty much the standard for Chen. Chen doesn't really have too many talents that are deviating these days, so the build is pretty much set. There's a couple of changes that Blizzard was making in the last patch, where they at least made it more attractive to go into different ones, but most of the time we see the Eye of the Tiger. We have the Laws of Hope taken on level 1 now, also for Granit, and that's actually where you oftentimes now see Hold Your Ground ever since Johanna received those changes. That helps her actually a lot with this too. For Vala, obviously, it's the Hot Pursuit. The build straight into the multi-shot talents on level 4 and level 7 is pretty much the norm. The one map where you see deviations away from it the most is Battlefield of Eternity, since the arrow build can give you a lot of value, but normally when you're talking about a map where you also rely on wave clear, then it's really the multi-shot hybrid build that you get. And then later on you can still go into Manticore if you have a lot of talent or a lot of melee heroes on the other side, and you go into Far Flight Quiver together with that as well. Now, as we're saying this, we already have the rotation down to the bottom of the map from Granit Gaming. This is where we're going to have the solo lane, with Chen going up against the Beastmaster and Misha. And as I said, once that Chen gets additional talents in and ends the late game, he can start to be more aggressive against Rexha himself, and maybe even try and get a kill there. But so far, that's not something I have to concern them right now. The main part is, and we're going to see that once that the players are going back into the game, that once we have the 1 minute mark and we see the items spawn right here, we're going to have the turrets taken by both of the teams before they're making a claim towards the objective, or sorry, not the objective, but like the healing beacon up at the top. Sometimes you see a bit of a switch with that, but if you're going for the healing beacon first, for example, because you feel that you can, let's say, take a strong position with Sergeant Hammer and take it right away, it means that you're delaying your own turret, and that means that there won't be a second turret available to you as the first objective spawns. So that's something that is a bit of a concern sometimes for the teams. But yeah, 1 minute in, camp spawn, immediately the move. And I can't stress this enough, I've said this in the past, if you participate in any amateur league, if you are playing Storm League, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to emulate in the early stages of the game. Item control is important, and the timing of these camps is very important as well, for the reasons that we just went over. And especially if you want to play in an amateur league, if you want to play Heroes of the Storm the way that it has been intended to be played, and you want to go a little bit away from the shit show that is Storm League, then I can highly recommend heroeslaunch.gg. They have a division for North America, and they have a division also for Europe. There's a huge amount of teams that are playing there. I mean, I think in the last season they had 180 teams for Europe alone, and it is fantastic. Players of any level play there. You can participate as a team, as an individual player, of course, too, and it is a lot of fun. You will find like-minded players that are interested in drafting, in trying to develop strategies, and you can get away from that random fiesta that we oftentimes encounter in, well, mostly Storm League, but obviously if you go full Fiesta and full YOLO, then also in Quick Match. So, with that said, we're having still that position up at the top, and this is really where we could see some aggression. Regenerative Biosteel. Okay. That is a little bit... I mean, that's something we don't see all the time. Siege Tactics is such an insane talent, even after we've seen nerfs to it, that you don't often see this to be taken. On the other side, how many stuns are there though? So that's probably the question that they had, and especially with Misha and with Johanna, providing a little bit of space for Chris. This is the talent where he might get all the sustain that he needs, and he takes pressure away from Malfurion. So it's actually a pretty cool setup that we're currently seeing from him here. And let's have a bit of a look at the first objective now as we are seeing it spawn. There's the move straight in as Granit Gaming, and nothing changed. They're waiting for the first protector. Animal husbandry has been abandoned in this case. We see instead the hunter-gatherer. 4 stacks for it. And both teams waiting for the level 4. But here comes the deadly strike now as well. Right, and Rexha is coming in from the bot lane. Charge blast, by the way, once again. Tai is playing around the talent now too. No dominance for him. And here come the hits, and starting to become a little bit feisty, but, well, Misha survives. Mopsio is a bit low, but with Hammer still sitting at the top lane, there is no real danger from the Sergeant just yet. Problem is that once level 7 is in and the hovering siege mode is part of this, then it will become really tricky for Mopsio to get all this far to the front without getting burned down by the Hammer immediately upon approaching. However, siege mode is in. Hennig is completely isolated here. Thought he could just walk up and, well, was very quickly told that he can't make that play. The problem is that they lose 2 in the process. They even try to make the play for Nick here. There's a bit of additional damage, but it's not enough to drop Vala. But still, the kills against Ganis and against Tyrande were already enough to give them a great spot on the shrine now, or on that control point. So pretty cool. I mean, again, Malfurion gets caught, dies, but they get a double kill on the return. And that's all that they need here. And with this, we're now also seeing the nature's queue again. We're having items taken, and this is exactly what I talked about at the beginning. You take it at the 1 minute mark, you have another one coming up as the objective is up. And both teams went for it. And now it's about item advantages again. And of course about position in the setup too. But Granit Gaming has a very, very nice position now for themselves that they're currently establishing here. And let's see what they can pull off with the first objective. That's 73, 75% now. But nothing changes pushing into this now. They're trying to make a bit of a play there. Nick, on the other hand, is low, and he is alone. Well, he's only supported by Tyrande. We've seen the double support Vala earlier, and there this time it's only one support to really help him out. And once again, Chris just in the backline doing so much work with the hovering siege mod now, and they're going to get this first one. Odebos, is he gonna fall? Are they gonna get the kill? Yeah, they are. That little bear is hungry, baby. Misha with a big roar moving in, taking them down. And that is pretty much all they needed here. Kill against the Panda. They have also the Protector. And already moving straight through the middle to drop the entire wall. And trying to drop a little bit more as well. Mopsio is coming in from behind. But Rexha is now making the rotation towards the middle. He pushed out the wave at the bottom. And look at this. There's level 10 for them already. And yeah, top side, I just look at Chris here. He is having a lot of fun on Hammer. One auto attack at a time, bringing the painful feelings onto the faces of nothing left as they have to deal with the Hammer time again. And level 10, of course, is another problem too. I mean, right now we have such a huge advantage that Granit Gaming is just in an absolute dream spot. They're taking the entire fort to the top, and they eliminated the wall in the middle too. This is pretty much the best case scenario that you can hope for here. You get the Protector, you get level 2 at level 10 at the same time, and Chris is able to just dominate this entire setup with the Protector here. The Panda, as expected, with a bit more aggression after level 7, also against Kopenhagen on the bot lane. But as mentioned previously, we should still see a fairly even fight there. Ooh, actually have a Starfall now, plus Strafe, a lot of zoning, and this is where really it starts to become dicey. With the Storm, Earth and Fire, Malfurion and also Liming are pretty much freebies if they don't get any assistance. If there's a flank from the Hammer, from Chen with this, that could be a freebie. Talking about freebies, the kill with the Calamity as they're going in, but Tai goes down too. Tai eliminated the quick kill against Tyrande, but the counter kill is there. And this is where Chen comes into play now as well. The kidney on Junkrat is really low though, but they still get the kill against Johanna. The problem is that Mopsio also falls just as he's trying to get the ult out. With the Carrion Swarm, he might have been able to save himself here. Got interrupted in the, well, killed in the process. I guess that's one way to interrupt someone, you just kill them. It's the best way to interrupt someone as they're trying to get the ult out, to be honest with you. So yeah, now we're having still a bit of a lead, half a level for Granit Gaming. And as they take the structures down slowly and steadily, they're looking solid here. In terms of the damage output, we can also have a quick look at that. Vala on 23,000, actually even outpacing Hammer. which is kind of insane. 17,000 for Crystal, and just look at that siege damage. The value of Hammer is not only that you get a lot of damage against heroes and just zone control, it's also that the siege damage is quite significant. It can really help you here. And they're controlling the zones up at the top again. They still have a few items left. They have one turret. Rexha is now moving top, and Chen will have to. Chen actually is abandoning the bot lane. They're trying to fight for this. They're actually going for the fight here. Before level 13 is in, Chen is coming top. They left the experience sitting at the bot side. Here come the attacks again. And Copenhagen is about to fall, gets saved, but the item ends up in the hands of Nothing Changed. And that's all that they needed to do here. That was actually well played by them. They nearly got a kill against the Panda, and they were able to steal the healing beacon. I would have not have thought that possible, to be honest. Chen came in late, and the aggression was already there. 13 was close, but nothing changed. They risked a lot here, and they were rewarded in this case. Have the item now, and therefore their position for the next objective has just improved significantly. Level 13 talents are soon going to be ready for both teams. Here comes the attack again. It's Panda time, but Tai survives the initial onslaught, and Henning keeps him alive afterwards. That's exactly what you have to do. If you can survive against the initial aggression from Chen and your support can keep you alive, then you have a good chance heading into the next fight. 13 versus 13 now. 3 kills against 5 on the map. Both teams going for the camps, but the advantage goes to Granit Gaming. There is no fort anymore, no retreat point, no fountain where you can top off mana and hit points. And Granit Gaming has all of that still on their side of the map. So they have the advantage heading into the objective here. Level 13, we're now also having the enough to share, as the aggression is mostly centered around mid lane right now. Misha is the one holding onto the spot top side. And by the way, talking about Misha, one more globe and we have the Hunter-Gatherer completed, which is going to give Copenhagen the extra armor for himself and for his pet. Should be able to get that right now, and there it is. Completion acquired. Glauber, then again, sitting down here at the bottom, but Mopsio is taking a lot of damage here. They try to go through the wall, they're going to get that. Problem is they're not going to get the Protector. And that should lead to a rotation towards the bottom of the map, so that Granit Gaming can take down another fort or at least a fountain. Blikidney on Junkrat, still doing his thing here. The top side, this is exactly where Rexha is now taking it. And where are they rotating to? On the way into the mid lane, they could eliminate this one as well, but not if they don't send anybody else over there. And that's actually the reason why the Protector is taking a long route. Again, that thing is alive for a long, long time. A minute is a long time in Heroes of the Storm. So now that another turret just got claimed by Granit Gaming at the bottom right camp, they're making their way slowly into the middle as Hammer is sieging up at the bottom of the map. Hammer's at the bottom right now, double turret in their hand, plus a healing beacon for Nothing Changed. So they have actually a lot of items here. But that boy gets burned down very, very quickly. But the fort still falls. And Hammer has already opened up the wall at the bottom of the map. They're closing in on level 16 now as well, which is pretty solid here. And they are trying to go for the fountain. And they should easily get this one. Prepare for objective number 3. Mopsio is also slightly in trouble here. Might have to pop out his ult, to be quite frank. And gets stunned. And gets the ult in. Tranquility being used. Hammer isolated and taken down by the Panda. But they get the kill against Ganis. And now they're starting to chase even more. 7 seconds left on the Protector. They want the fountain. They're going to get the fountain. And they get even more damage in. Both now in 16. And that gives Chris on the Sergeant also the Giant Killer. Another great talent for him. It's going to make it much harder for Ganis and for Chen to survive in all of these fights. But as we said before, it's really just the Panda time that is the biggest problem for them right now. So with this, we're currently seeing the Feign Death again. And Copenhagen might have to use that. I mean, he's a really, really bad actor, so nobody believes that shit. I mean, apparently a couple of the heroes in the game really believe him when he pulls that off, and you have to be a little bit stupid in order to fall for that act. But still. Mirror Ball. I mean, Chen, again, Rexha has a dream, right? He wants to be an actor, and if Feign Death is going to help him a little bit to accomplish that goal, then by all means, just go for it. 16 versus 16 now. Frost Shot also available for Vala, which gives her more control and more poke. Vala, by the way, is also still sitting at the top damage for her team, 35,000, and is still ahead of Sergeant Hammer. The items that we're seeing for Nothing Changed is actually quite amazing to me. They have an item advantage, but with them losing the bottom fountain, they don't have that retreat spot, and this time they have to give up the healing beacon at the top. This time they can't get it. They don't want to push into this here. But it's all about the third objective for now, at least. At this point, the move down towards the bottom to get another turret now. In terms of turrets, I mean, just look at the setup here. We have 2 turrets, 3 turrets, and 1 healing beacon. Better position than Granit Gaming for sure, who can rely on only 2 items. So 2 additional turrets for the next fight for Nothing Changed if they can set it up properly. It comes down to, I want to say, Chris. If Polyboss can jump in and get another kill against Chris like he just did in the last fight, that's a different story. But with all the focus on Hammer, there's obviously also more space for Tai to get value with Li Ming and try and go for resets here. So it's a really difficult setup to approach if you're nothing left. You have to wait for an opportunity and just pounce at the right moment. And talking about pouncing, that Panda might not quite have the grace of a Panther, but at least is going to show the same aggression, I'd say. By the way, also talking about aggression and stuff, that Riptire did not really do a whole lot here. Level 20 shouldn't be ready for any of the teams for this, but there comes the attack against the fort, and that's another one that they take down. Fort down, and it's time for the next objective. Blick Kidney at the top lane, still pushing this out with Junkrat. 61 stacks, by the way, on his level 4 for him. That's the damage increase here. But I really want to see how this is going to pan out now, because at this point, the third objective, if you lose it, that might be the first keep of the game. It shouldn't be game. It shouldn't be game. But the keep at the bot lane, if Granit Gaming takes it, should actually fall. So that's the big one. Another 3 seconds here, and then it's time to shine. 3 players that haven't died in this game yet, by the way. Rexha hasn't fallen. This is actually one of the cases where Animal Husbandry would have been a good choice. Not advocating to take the talent, don't get me wrong. Hunter-Gatherer is amazing. But this is one of the few cases where we haven't seen Rexha die even once. And that would have been, in this case, hindsight being 2020, a good choice for him. Vala hasn't fallen yet either, so Nick with a good performance here. And Junkrat, both damage dealers actually, for Nothing Changed, have not suffered a single death yet. Level 20 isn't ready yet. But position is taken by Mopsio. Keep the item advantage in mind, that's the one thing that they can rely upon. Mopsio gets attacked here immediately. Lauber, let's be a bit careful. Chris also trying to still sit tight here. And Lauber still on the run. Uses the Iron Skin again, but they get chased away. And 60%. At some point you have to start to move in for this. Chris is already starting to move forward as he's trying to get some extra damage in. And keep in mind, he has a different level 4 talent, so he has actually some self-sustain. Using it. There's the Blessed Shield, and the old turrets are on the ground. And the Carrion Swarm, the kill against Johanna. The bear is down 2, and there's the Protector. They take it. Nothing changed. Claim the Protector. The third one, they use the item advantage that they have, and they go straight in for the kill of the fort at the bottom of the map. No level 20 yet on either side, and that's the moment right now. How deep can they push this? How deep can they actually push this? Can they go for the keep? Or are they just going to stop at the fort, rotate into the mid lane, and try and take another one? That seems like the play from them. Trying to play around objective number 4, get level 20, just take the outer structures, make sure that there's no lane pushing against them, and play around that right now. So, there we go. There's another attack. 20 is ready for both now. And that gives us, again, the extra range for Vala. Doesn't have Manticore. Again, I posted the Frost Shot out, but no Manticore for her. It's not quite as much of a problem. But as you can tell, we're having also, in addition to this, the rotation towards the top, and they're aiming for all 3 forts here. The Pandas in this case, the Elemental Conduit now too, and that is tricky. That's honestly tricky. The Panda was a huge problem the entire time already for the backline, but that makes things obviously even worse. So now they have to be really careful around this. In addition to that, we're actually having Radiating Faith here now too. So that gets the extra hits out. Nice strafe actually from Nick. Nearly taking the kill against Li Ming. Henning had to use his ult already. Went into Serenity here. And here comes the push again for another item. They're trying to take this one. Boss already has a Healing Beacon, and a second one would go a long way. Not only because you take it away from your opponent, but also because you have even more sustain for objective number 4, which will be in the mid lane. Which is where they took down the second fort. So that's another important setup, because now that the fort has been eliminated on both sides, the chances are that Keep and Core will be the target with this. It's actually a really long and drawn out game here. 18 minutes already that we're seeing. 39,000 damage for Li Ming, but 53,000 now for Vala. Sergeant Hammer, not really as heavy on the damage against heroes as I initially expected, but we have very, very solid siege damage from Chris at this point. And again, he had a lot of self-sustain here too, with his level 4 talent not going into the traditional unstoppable frames. In siege mode, obviously, yeah. So no shield tactics for him. But up at the top, we are having still a bit of a rotation around the camps here. Both of them are not really going to go for a big fight. They're waiting for the objective. If you can get a kill at some point with an isolation, they will definitely pull it off. And that's a fantastic trap against Lauber. They can't quite close it though. Tai gets attacked now too. And teams are again just disengaging. But those are really the moments when you think you have an advantage, when you think you get a kill, when you have a lockdown at some point, you try and make the play. But outside of that, they're just going to move around each other to see if they can get an opportunity or force something. But nobody is really just YOLOing into a fight without the objective even being up. That's not going to be the case. So, well, once again, there's the play right there. And, well, Cody Boss is already setting himself up right now. And what are we going to see? Okay, there we go. Setup is ready. And the control point gets unlocked. Yeah, 21 against 21. We're actually pretty late into the game with this one now. That next fight could absolutely change the game here. In one fell swoop. This could be the last one. Again, I have actually, in a competitive game, never seen the 5th Protector on this map. But considering that nobody took down a keep yet, there is a chance that this is going to be the first one. There's a chance that this is going to happen here. Alright, hits keep coming. And the position has been initially claimed by Granit Gaming, giving them the lead now. So let's see how this is going to work for them. I mean, at this point, that's going to be... Again, it's hard to push into this. You have Sergeant Hammer against you. It's really about the Panda timings. Mopsy already gets shut down here a little bit. Yeah, Riptire gets eliminated too. They fell back at the right moment, but kept Nisha on the point. So that's fantastic for them. 6 kills against 5. Good setup by now. Mopsio is trying to come in again. Chris is actually to retreat. Blessed Shield is out. Yeah, they're moving back. They have a push at the top lane, which is definitely going to help them to put pressure onto the keep. But the problem is still the exact same. Now we're having nothing change, taking over the control over the checkpoint. And they have to fight back into this. No important ults used just yet. I mean, again, 2 ults have been used, but most of them are still available for them. Time is working in Granit Gaming's favor regarding the top lane, but they can't afford to lose that Protector. So that's a problem. And what else? Right now, we're having again Mopsio just zoning them out in the back line, going for the big sleep here. 67% against 58. Hammer with a bit of a different position. Boss still hasn't used his ult yet either. Still waiting for an opportunity to jump onto Hammer or someone else. No, Furion would be a fantastic target for him too. The items are coming down now as 93% on the board. They have to make the play. They have to make it right now. And they're going for it. Overtime has been reached. Heading tries to keep them alive. And Lauba is with another Blessed Shield already on the point, trying to hold it for as long as possible. Is low though, gets stunned, and Lauba is about to fall. He goes down, and that should be a Protector for nothing changed. Yes, they grab it, they get the kill, and they are still with 5 man on the map. Up at the top lane, yep, the keep is taking serious damage and is actually likely gonna fall. Can Blakidney save it? Yes! Nope. Not gonna happen. It's still taken apart. Yeah, unfortunate for him. That little move with his mind did not work out the way that he intended to. So now we're having the push through the bottom of the map. But again, this isn't necessarily over. Pushing into Hammer is going to really cost that Protector a lot of HP very, very quickly. And at this point, they're getting wrecked here. 60% already on it. Guys, this might be the first time that we're actually going to see the 5th Protector in the game. 1 keep is down at the top lane. They at least get the keep at the bottom of the map. But if this is the only thing that they achieve, then it's pretty much an even trade. And that's the case. It's an even trade in structures. Both teams now with 1 keep eliminated. 6 kills against 6. Wow. That's gonna be another objective, and this time we're gonna look at the top lane. Unless, of course, someone can force the fight and take it. But, yeah, this is getting nasty quickly. What are we having in terms of items? Is there anything left? I mean, not really. Both of the teams just pulled all the stops when they went into the last fight. Junkrat and Vala, the only 2 heroes that haven't died yet. Well, then again, Rexha hasn't fallen yet either, but he lost Nisha 2 times. Alright, here comes the aggression. There come the pandas. They're trying to chase them down. They don't want to go for the fight yet, but Rexha locks them down immediately with a kill command, using his own ult to stop the onslaught. That was a good one. But now the position is being used by Nothing Changed to go straight in for another healing beacon. Taking the advantage here. There's a trade at the bottom as we see 1 turret taken. They might go for the second one over here. Actually, the rotation is also happening for Nothing Changed. So are they really willing to fight for this? Seems like they are. At least trying to intercept it. But is this going to be the hill where Granit Gaming is going to die on, where they want to make their stand? Big wave at the top lane. And guys, we are 24 minutes into the game. If catapults make it onto the core, it's pretty much lights out. Both of the teams have 2 catapults pushing against the opponent's core. But top lane should be quicker. Slightly, if I'm not mistaken. Well, there comes the aggression again. Already having the star fall out. Here comes the damage. The kill against Misha. Can they get more? Oh, Chen in trouble. And he survives. Lauber, on the other hand, is going down. Lauber eliminated. They try to get more. The catapults are starting to push onto the core here. And is someone defending? That's the main question. That's 2 catapults. That's the third one coming in. Guys, they have to actually defend this. They need to defend this quickly. We're 25 minutes in. Just look how much these do. This is 3 catapults. Alright, at this point, Junkrat is coming in, but they're going to lose a couple of hit points here for sure. Junkrat comes in, 86. Takes them down. Trap at the top. Nope, they're trying to go for the camp here. So far unsuccessful. Mopsio is sitting tight. They try to take Misha down again. And both of the teams now starting to suffer a little bit, but it's more and more Nothing Changed. It starts to decide those fights in their favor. And also are able to get a better and better position here. And taking down the top fort would be important here as well. Not only because you want to set up for the next objective, but obviously you want to have catapults spawning with every 3rd wave, just so that you can relieve some of the pressure that's being pushed up now. 25 minutes in, I mean, we saw how quickly that shield got melted away by the triple catapult, and they lost 14 points on the core. So you already know you can't really afford that again. The problem for Granit Gaming is really that the next objective spawning topside also means that the entire fight in the entire position is going to be as far away as possible from the bot lane. Meaning that the longer it lasts, the more these catapults are going to push onto their core, and they're going to be the team that has to be really afraid of getting taken down by the minions. Mopsio, again, trying to move out. Oh, Mopsio! Haha, Chris with the kill! Oh god, that couldn't have been timed any better. Holy shit. Perfect timing on the kill. Now they can hold the top without problem. They still need to be cautious at the bottom of the map, but that was perfect. That couldn't have come at a better moment in time for Granit Gaming. I can't stress how difficult this objective is and was for Granit Gaming because of the bot lane pressure. And now this bot lane pressure is exactly what Nothing Changed is trying to push in, because they're just saying we have to force them away from the top. We can't allow them to have this. So they're threatening pretty much a bit of a backdoor at this point. Top side, there's still Misha. Look how safe Rexha is. Still sitting at that fort as much as he can. Still the continuous poke at the bottom of the map, but they know that without vision, someone is going to be there eventually. And the catapults have been taken out. They need to YOLO it at some point. I don't really think that they have any other chance than going for it. They're probably going to wait for the Protector to make his way over to the core, and then they're going to go for the backdoor. I don't think there's nothing else they can do. It has to be a backdoor attempt. They won't be able to win a fight against the Protector here. The backdoor attempt is going to come. It's going to be a race. It is going to be a race. Tai is already starting the Hearthstone. And they know that this is coming. They definitely do. Lauber is trying to do the same thing. That doesn't work. Tai is back, but here's the aggression. Here comes the aggression. Here's the attack. Here's the backdoor. Protector is on the left side of the map right now, but the Pandas are in. They're trying to get the kills in here, and this is a lot of damage extremely quickly. On the other side, though, the Protector is starting to absolutely shell away, but he's too slow. Way too slow. This is... Oh, or is it? This could be game, and it is game. Nothing changed. They take it against Granit Gaming on map number 1. Game number 2, everybody. Nothing changed. Winning the race there against Granit Gaming on the last map. Pretty nice effort by them, actually. I mean, it was a bit of an obvious move. I don't really think you can hold off against the 5th Protector. It's kind of funny that the first time that we see a 5th Protector on Volskaya Foundry in a competitive game, the 5th Protector loses. It's kind of insane. But yeah, they didn't have enough to really stop them there towards the end. Johanna got actually interrupted on the move back to the core, which was a big problem because her blind can slow down the progress a little bit. Maybe with her in action with the condemn, the ult, and the blind, they would have been able to pull that off, but her initial Hearthback got interrupted and the damage dealers just didn't have enough to take these heroes down quickly. So yeah, it was close, it was really close. I mean, another 1-2 seconds and well, Granit Gaming would have dropped the core on the left side. But it didn't quite work out. Now we're in Towers of Doom. It's map number 2 in the best of 3 here in the grand final. And the question is, of course, can nothing change make the 2-0? They ban out Zeratul. We have actually Mayayev banned out again against Blake Hitney. Really, really strong player on that hero. And the entire team plays extremely well around his initiations. And the second ban comes up against Tassadar. Also a little bit of a soft ban against Vala immediately. Which still could be banned out here now, because Chris and Ty both play a pretty mean Vala. But there's also Tracer to consider, so you really have to pick your poison. And they ban out Tracer. Alright. Tracer gets banned out, and in addition to that, we still need our... Well... Vala pick maybe? Are they going to go into an early Malfurion again? You can obviously also interrupt with Tyrande if you spam a couple of hours through. This is a map where we also could see Abathar again. Now, Abathar is oftentimes picked with, yeah, there we go. With Zeratul, who was banned early on, but you can easily make it play with Jaina and Abathar. You can combo it off with, let's say, Tyrael, Greymane, just to name a few examples. Yeah, they could make this now happen. So let's see if they can actually pull that off. The Abathar setup. Fury was usually the one that played Abathar for Granit Gaming, but now Chris has locked it in. And, well, there's the Vala setup. Disregarding the ban on Tassadar, they still play with Vala. And they have Linked now on Malfurion. Another really powerful setup, and Linked already played, Nick already played in the last game a Vala with only a solo support. So in this case, it shouldn't really be any different for him. Abathar, of course, is going to make things a bit more spicy, because no matter what Abathar gets comboed off with, it means incredible pressure against a single target, and that is going to threaten Vala here. Chen and Ganis both taken. Chen with a panda hat is a problem, and that's not going to be the only problem. I could totally see, well, maybe not anymore, but I could have initially seen them go even into something along the lines of, let's say, Genji, for example, or something. I mean, there's a couple of absolutely insane setups that you can go for. We've seen in the past Fnatic and especially Shrimpy's team trying to play Velira together with Abathar, and that is insta-kills whenever you get a drop on someone. So there's a lot of setups that you can go for depending on how crazy you really want to go with it. But having Ganis and Chen both with an Abathar hat is already a problem, and there's still the chance that they're going to add, let's say, Greymane to the equation. It's tank bans, mostly, that we're seeing now, and, well, Diablo is still open. There's a couple that are open. I mean, you have Diablo, Mirrodin, and Johanna that are still open. Those would probably be the top 3, considering the lineup on the other side. But what's going to be the double pick here? We also don't have a hero yet for Blakidney. That's another one that we have to point out. Offlane, Leo might be a choice. Dehaka on the map. Ooh, Dehaka and ETC. Okay. So really playing around the global and around the macro control. ETC more so there to create more space for Vala, for Nick to keep him alive. And ETC is fantastic. He's the best tank for that, to make that happen. Just to create the space, don't allow anybody to go onto Vala here. Could be the one that really controls someone like Greymane if he's picked. There's Tyrande for Henning. It's already the stun setups. And what is Ty going to play? Are we going to see just the mage in the back line? Yeah, it's Jaina. Jaina for the copy. And nothing changed with the last pick right now. Blake Kidney. What is he going to aim for? We are actually getting... I mean, we need a bit more damage for him. Triple... Could see a triple frontline as well, honestly. If you want to go into something along the lines of, I don't know, Thrall, you could do that too. Game number 1 ended in favor of nothing changed. And as expected in game number 2, on the last pick, we actually got Thrall. The triple frontline for nothing changed now as they're hoping for a 2-0 victory in the grand final here of the HeroesHype Premier Series. The blue team starting on Towers of Doom with Podipos on Dehaka, Linked on Malfurion, Blikitni on Thrall, Mopsio on ETC, and Nick on Vala. On the right side of the map, Granit Gaming with Heading on Tyrande, Kopenhagen on Chen, Laub on Ganis, Tai on Abatha, and Chris on Jaina. Best of 3 series, starting off with our little Abatha setup here, and him going into the pressurized glance. So already expecting straight away into the spike burst here. On top of that, we're seeing the arrow build actually coming in for Nick. First time that we have that. I mean, most of the fights are actually around the shrines, and there are no minions that could soak up any of those arrow shots. So this is actually a really good map for it too. Normally it's more focused on Battlefield of Eternity, and the multi-shot hybrid build is kind of the standard on all the other maps here, but it makes a lot of sense to also play with an arrow setup on this map for reasons just mentioned. So let's see how much Nick can actually get out of this. There's also, of course, cool control with the Monster Hunter over the pumpkin camps that really help you as well. Well, with this set, towards the top lane, we have Podipos already in a bit of pressure and trouble. And that's always the problem when you're going up against an Abatha, that just the balance on the one-on-one lane gets heavily skewed in favor of the Abatha team. Because whenever the solo laner is in trouble, you can just simply set a symbiote head onto him, and then he pushes that out again. So no matter how good you feel, no matter how much you think you can maybe get a kill there, you should always be careful if you're facing a solo laner that has an Abatha on his side, because it can very, very quickly turn against you. But it also comes with a couple of disadvantages. I mean, if you can set up good lanes at the start and a good foreman, for example, Abatha doesn't have a body at the beginning of the game that he can rely upon. He has to wait for the copy on level 10. And that means that oftentimes you have then a chance to overwhelm your opponent there slightly. But it's definitely that macro aspect that is, of course, going to play a huge role at this point. So again, in comes the attack. Already Lauba starting to set things up with the Nightcore as he's attempting to get those sleeps through. On level 1, the Eye of the Tiger for Chen, as previously seen. And towards the middle, Thrall still sitting tight there against Tai, who's attempting to soak as much experience as he can with his body as he's helping out the rest of the team, especially at the bot lane. Mopsio is actually the one that gets attacked and nearly taken down here, but is able to escape. Level 4 comes in on both sides and gives us Mana Tide for Thrall. So in this particular case, we don't even see him go into the Frostwolf pact. No stacks for him on level 4. Strangling Vines taken for Malfurion. And the stacks are now coming in with a Puncturing Arrow for Nick, and that's obviously going to be a big focus for them from here on out. Trying to stack that quickly so that they can get maximum damage around the fights over all of those altars. Yeah, that said, we have actually Needle Spine on level 4 for Abatha. That's another big one, actually. So if you don't really have someone that heavily relies on the auto attacks, you don't need the Adrenal Overlord. With Greymane, for example, I'm pretty sure that would have been a big of a change for them, but in this case, they don't necessarily need it. Now, Abatha is the one who starts to channel over here. Everybody else is still kind of protecting. They're already moving in. They're trying to get 2. But here comes Thrall. Bot lane, Malfurion is going to get the channel. And honestly, with the interrupt that we're seeing, that might be a really nice lead now for nothing changed. Ooh, the stun was perfect. Nicely played. Yep, so another 4 shots fired over here. And Kopenhagen might be in trouble. Yeah, and goes down. Great kill. They can't get the second altar. That sets them back on the points on the core, but they get the kill. And therefore a bit of map control, at least for a short period of time. But the Haka can also control the top lane even more aggressively. 3 stacks by now for Nick. We really need to keep an eye on Vala, because that level 4 talent is going to be highly important for his damage output throughout all of this. And that actually can have an impact on his level 16 choice too. We haven't really seen too many players around Deceiving Hatred just yet, but if you heavily rely on that arrow, there is a chance that this is going to be an adjustment that he's going to make. So level 7, Nearly at the same time coming in for the players. Dehaka obviously has also the global that he can use, not only to hunt down Abathur, but also to approach in one of those fights and make the play here. There's Mule on level 7, taken by Abathur. Don't see that that often on this map here, actually. Oftentimes players just let this one go. TC in some trouble. Mopsio, does he have the cooldown? Nah, he doesn't have it. The fight is still going on though, but it doesn't really look good for Nothing Changed. Not after they lost the first hero, and the second one falls shortly after. Dehaka now taken down, and they're not stopping there. They're trying to go for Nick, but they can't get the kill. Nick by now at 8 stacks. But that double kill really hurt. It's not only the double kill, I mean, not only did they lose 2 heroes, they didn't get the pumpkin camp either. And that is a bad start into all of this. I mean, initially they get the kill against Chen, but now they lost 2 altars in the first phase. They just lost 2 heroes. They are behind in experience now by nearly an entire level. This started to become extremely tricky for Nothing Changed. And the rotation towards the bottom of the map, where they have to interrupt the next channel, needs to be a successful one, or they will fall farther and farther behind. And it's tricky because Thrall is still topside. They're going to lose out on this one. Yeah, they're not going to go for it anymore. They can't. There's the channel, there's the hits. That's now 28 points against 36 on the core, and an experience lead for Granit Gaming. Granit looking strong for now, and making the move straight into the next pumpkin camp too, trying to steal it away from the opponent. And nothing changes. They are losing a lot of control on this now. I mean, it has to become a question of level 10 versus level 10 now. And once heroic abilities are in, it's a different game, but still. That early game, even after the initial kill against Chen, doesn't really look too great. Only 1 arrow connects as Nick is trying to get 2 additional stacks in. Uses the repeating arrow for the cooldown reset. Yep, and topside, Dehaka still playing the globals. But 10s are now in. That gives us, obviously, the copy for Abathur. But Lauber gets fully isolated. Wants to go for the kill, has the Carrion Swarm in, but doesn't quite go down against this. Nick waiting for cooldowns again, hoping to stack even more, gets 1 in, and yeah, keeps the wall down for now. 17 stacks already, and they have level 10 now. So it's actually not too bad, because in just 3 additional stacks, he's going to have the massive power spike of Vala with this particular build to rely upon. Goes into Strafe now as the old Mosh Pit comes in as well. So now it's really time to shine. This is the moment where they have to prove that with level 10 abilities, they can still turn this around. They're not too far behind just yet, but they have definitely taken a little bit of a beating in the earlier game there, through those attempts of being aggressive that got shut down quickly by Granit Gaming. So with that said, at the bottom of the map, it's a double altar that we're talking about now. Yeah, there's our little setup with Link sitting tight already. Dehaka still at the top lane. He's gonna wait for the moment when he has to global back down. JPL is already sitting, Copenhagen is already sitting there. Blekidne is in position. Vala's going to try and get their stacks together. The attack against Ganis, so far, good one. Lauber low, Lauber down. Lauber eliminated, and now they're going for more. Dehaka is there. They're trying to get the kill against Tyrande, and she just explodes in this engage. Well done here. Dehaka already on the channel. There's the Mosh Pit, baby! And it's party time. Actually making sure that the pandas can't chase anybody down, and that's a double altar that they're getting out of this now. They got the kills too, 3 against 2. They have control now over the map, can go for another pumpkin camp, and with the 4 additional shots fired, we're actually drawing even between the 2 teams. And also the quest for Vala is completed, and that is pretty amazing. That's actually fantastic. So now here come the hits as the pumpkins are connecting and starting to destroy the structure at the bot lane. But taking a quick look at the damage output, we have 25,000 for Vala, and Nick can now fully rely on a double arrow setup with a repeating arrow. That's going to be worth a lot for him. Mule still focused down every time that the bot lane gets attacked, or any lane to be exact. And in the meantime, the invade attempt on the side of Granit with the water elemental already down. But here comes Mopsio. He's trying to move in, gets stunned out. The kill against Jaina instantaneously. They're trying to get the kill against Henning now too, but they're already isolating the rest of the team. The problem is that Thrall has fallen as well. Carrion Swarm for Lauber, and he gets away with a Nitro. At least tries to. Eats a lot of damage here once again. Does the drag connect? It does! And gets cleansed out immediately, but not even that helps Ganis. He falls regardless. Ty is a bit late on the copy here. Was obviously trying to help the team. and help the heroes but couldn't. So it's still an advantageous trade with 2 kills against 1 for nothing changed. They have the level 13, they have the lead. With that now we're seeing the siphoning arrow for Vala. Level 16 again is going to be interesting. Is it going to go Manticore, or are we going to see a different setup for them? Even Frost Shot against the Pandas wouldn't probably be too bad to have a bit more control there. More survivability now also with the Soma transference for the frontliners in particular. But yeah, all of a sudden nothing changed. They're starting to put on the pressure, have a better position in the team fights. A lot has changed actually for them. It's a bit of an understatement. I mean, nothing changed is not really quite true. They're definitely giving some false information here. That's fake news in my opinion. Easy channel on each side. I mean, normally what happens here, big easy trade between the two. And still double checking on the boss obviously, but in the mid lane with a bit more aggression, Mopsio is keeping them honest, pushing them out right away. And Vala, tries to go for Chris, and the strafe nearly takes the kill. Lauber honestly making sure that nobody falls here. That was a great play by him. He was the one that really deterred Nick and forced him back, or Chris that would have fallen. If not for Lauber, Chris would have kept up the strafe here. Nick would have kept up the strafe and Chris would have died. 14 against 14. That's a cool second game. Again, best of 3 series. You're already down 1 map. You need to be careful if you're Granit. And if you are in the shoes of nothing changed, you want to make sure that this is going to be where you take your victory. And they go for the Panda again. Kopenhagen is low. Lauber again with the interrupt over here. And the stun follow-up. Nicely done, but the ult of Thrall, the fight is in! And Dehaka, the one in trouble, but Malfurion with the tranquility is keeping everybody in play. And once again, Mopsio starting to make the moves here, trying the copy is a little bit low. Chris so far hasn't really taken a lot of damage. Locked down against Lauber as he's trying to go in again, and this time it might be successful. They're getting the additional stun setup, and ETC is down. Dehaka barely survives as Nick is trying to zone them out with another strafe, but that kill was still secured, and ETC falling just as we have the next altars announced. And that's a triple altar phase now. Can they follow it up with another kill? That's the big question now. They go for Dehaka, and Poti Boss survives. Good counter damage, but it's just not enough to make anything happen here. 24 against 24, no level 16 for either team just yet, but Abathar gets the channel or is going to try and get it at the top. Dehaka sitting over here, fight down at the bottom, the zone out, Kopenhagen is able to get the channel through, and that's an advantage for them as we're having 8 shots taken off the core. 16 against 20 right now as we are heading into the 12-minute mark of the game. This is back and forth the entire time. There's so much on the line right now for the players. This is one of the qualifier tournaments for the big one, for the playoffs, and you want to get the prize money, you want to get the points that will help you to set yourself up also for the last one. Again, the aggression against Thrall has died once so far, and Dehaka gets murdered again. He's not going to get away. No. 5 kills against 5 now, and this is level 16 for both teams. And this down here, this is not going to work out. No, that ain't happening. They have to move away from this one. They have to just let it go. Yeah, Thunderstorm comes in. We're actually seeing also on level 16 now for Dehaka the Tunneling Claws. You don't see that all that often. Extra adrenaline boost now with the speed here and the pressure through the bottom. And we have Frost Shot. Frost Shot against the Pandas. Again, Thrall is dead. Mosh Pit against 4 heroes, but they can't get the kill. Chris Ice blocking most of the strafe damage. And Nick has done a fantastic job with the damage output, but he just doesn't have enough to really set something up here. They're trying to get a little bit more. Tranquility is out again. Mopsio in a bit of trouble. So is Malfurion, but Dehaka comes in and gets the drag against Ganis, and that's the kill that they really needed. They want to get more. They want to... Oh my god, the isolation connects. That's perfect. Chen would have easily gotten away there, but they get 2 kills. They trade 2-for-1 kills. Unbelievable. It looked like nothing changed, would lose that fight big time, and maybe even the bell tower at the bottom of the map, but quite the opposite has happened. They somehow still turned it around and made sure that they get a double kill and have now the pressure against the bottom bell tower. Nicely done. Very well done by them. Damage output 55,000 now by Nick, still without 0 deaths here. And we have the massive pressure against the bot lane bell tower. But the shots are already fired. 16 versus 16 now. But they still want, of course, the control over the map. And the bot lane in particular is what you want to control the most. And they get it. Advantage. Nothing changed. They also have a slight lead in experience now, but that can turn any moment whenever there's another kill coming in. That's another big one that we have with this. Currently, obviously, the attempt to reclaim the bot lane is what we're going to see from the team in red here, as they're going to try and make the play. Defense is definitely going to be set up as quickly as they possibly can muster it, but eventually I think they're going to lose this one. Unless ETC can make a pretty insane play here, but since Kopenhagen also has his ult back up on Chen, there's always the threat for sure. So in comes the setup. He should start to take the camps. And yep, this one is gonna fall again. I mean, as long as you control the entire bot lane, the Sapper camps are going to become incredibly important because you have the chance to attack the core directly through those, which is one of the main reasons why it's so difficult or such a big problem if you lose bot lane control of your own bell tower. But now that the pumpkin camp has been taken, the only thing that they can achieve with it is an attempt to get a few points off that bell tower again. But since it's not even fully taken yet, it's very likely going to be taken out before that even becomes an issue, and indeed that's the case here. So we are pretty much even again. For now, we're also seeing more camps focused. This time it should not be stolen away. Bottom of the map, that's already where we have another altar announced. And this time it's a single altar, so we're going to see that 5 versus 5 fight. But just look over at the experience. Granit Gaming is sneaking that in thanks to Abathar. Again, even with the Haka on the map, they're getting quite a bit from this. So can they interrupt? Are they going to make the play there? Linked, yeah. The Haka came in, missed the drag. Here comes the copy. Double Jaina this time, and in comes the action. Nick already with the arrows against Lauber is getting another one through against Kopenhagen, and Chen uses the ult in the last possible moment and makes the play for Malfurion. Linked about to fall. He gets put with a face to the wall and taken out. And with this, they're focusing on Lauber. They're trying to get at least a kill against him. They're trying to punish him for the setup that he just made possible. Look at Chen. He unbelievably was able to get the ult through. Seriously, just one more hit and he would have been toast, but he survives through it. And now with all the damage that they have, they still won't be able to make the play here. Yes, Blickidne is trying to look at if he can get an interrupt, but they're letting this one slide. They just can't force it now. They're gonna wait for level 20. What a fight there. If Chen actually falls before this happens, this is an easy win in the fight for Nothing Changed. But now they're losing the bottom bell tower. That's a big problem. And Chen is now gonna have his level 20. And that means that once again we're looking at a really powerful hero. This could work. Owl comes through, but a double arrow is burning this down quickly. Oh my god, guys, this is going to get really close. Oh. Can they get it? Oh my god, no, they cannot. They lose ETC, and that's the shots fired. And you know why? Because the 10% movement speed increase. That played a big role there. 10% movement speed increase globally allows for the quicker rotation from the bot lane towards the top, and that's what allowed them to make that play right now. Well done here. The attack against the bell tower, another one falls. That's 6 bell towers against 2 now. The level 20 talents, obviously a big part of this. Chen going into the Purifying Brew. And now that we have 20 nearly ready for Nothing Changed, they have to try and force it around Storm Talents. It's the only thing they have left. It's 8 points against 16. It's, again, it is Towers of Doom. We've seen so many insane comebacks on this map that it's definitely not out of the question that they're still going to make the plays here and going to turn this around. All you need is a big team fight. But this is a huge problem right now. At this point, we're having, again, the bell tower nearly taken down, but they have to face the music now. It's 20 versus 20 with Earth and Shields. There comes the Thunder Strike completed. That gives him a bit more damage. They're trying to make the play here. In comes the Earth and Shields already, but again, Thrall in trouble. And ETC with a slide, Linked alive. And, well, not for long. Malfurion falls. The connect is there again, but they can't get a counter kill. They're looking for it. They don't find it. The mosh pit is interrupted too soon. And this is boding well for Granit Gaming fans. Again, the setup. Boss wants to get the kill, but Vala has just fallen. The main damage is already gone, and this is looking more and more like it's going to be a victory for Granit Gaming. Down goes the Haka. The channel in the middle is already happening, and, well, that's going to be the end of it. Down to the bottom of the map. Henning is getting the last one through. Shots are already fired, and this is game as Granit Gaming forces the 3rd game in this best-of-3 series. Game number 3, everybody. Nothing changed against Granit Gaming. And, well, some keen eyes might already have spotted that there's a little bit of a difference here in the third game. Different observer interface, and there was no draft. We're going to come back to that in just a second, but let's introduce the players on this final map first. Boss on Blaze on the left side of the map for Nothing Changed. We have Kidney and Liming. We're seeing Mopsy on Stitches, Nick on Hanzo, Linked on Tyrande. And towards the right side, Granit Gaming with Henning on Malfurion, Kopenhagen on ETC, Ty on Greymane, Chris on Sylvanas, and we currently have Lauber on Ganis. Alright, time to shine. Time for a little bit of action here. Honestly, this should be a really interesting game. I mean, again, the 2 games before were already a little bit awesome. And now we can find out who is going to crown themselves the champion of the first tournament here in the second season of the HeroesHype Premier Series. Coming back real quickly, while we have the old Blizzard UI, the HTC UI currently in the game. So I casted Game 1 and Game 2 live. But all of this happened on the 14th of August, and, well, my birthday was the day after, and friends organized a bit of a birthday dinner in the evening for me. And unfortunately, we had a lot of delays with this particular series. Admin dropped out a few times, sometimes the players weren't really ready. So it turned out that I could not cast the third game live, so I let myself, someone sent me the replay, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do it the next day. But the problem is that in the meantime, Blizzard just released another hotfix, and hotfixes just ruin replays completely. You have to actually load up an old version of Heroes of the Storm, no matter what they changed, and in this one you can't use properly a custom interface either, so we actually have to rely on Blizzard's UI here. Which is pretty shitty, to be honest. I mean, it seems kind of nice at the start because you have constant view in all of the talents, but normally I do that with the Ali UI as well. The problem is that it's one of the worst UIs that you've ever seen when it comes to keeping track of stacks on talents, of quest rewards, and all of these things. So it's not really good UI to work with on a regular basis. But for the third game here, we're definitely going to bite the bullet. I'm just gonna say, okay, it is what it is. So, yeah, that's pretty much the reason for that. It's also the reason why we didn't have a draft in this one. Every time a game is casted live, you will see the draft in the game, but if it's a replay cast, the drafts are also not recorded in replays. Another unfortunate circumstance of the way that Blizzard is dealing with replays in this game here. But yeah, so in this case, we didn't have one. Up towards the top, let's have a bit of a look at this setup now. We're actually having ETC going up against Blaze. Yeah, I got called a racist the other day for saying that I don't like the skin. YouTube is funny like that. So yeah, apparently you don't like a skin and then immediately you're racist. So gotta love today's society. But yeah, I didn't know that about myself, so I was actually very happy because, you know, it's something new that I learn every single day here in the YouTube comments. They provide. But it's at least the love cloud. Nothing to compare to the money pick. But yeah. You do what you can, right? But with this now said, we have actually for Sylvanas also no stacking on level 1. As I said before, we could have seen the Unfurling Shadows here from Chris, but he actually didn't go into that. And has now the different build for himself. Actually interesting to see that Liming is still into dominance on level 4, now that I look at the talents a little bit more closely. Because on this map, we see a lot more Seeker these days, especially when we're talking about players like Marke, for example. Other Liming players like Mene still heavily believe in the power of dominance. And as you can see in this game, Kidney is no exception here. Actually having also an interesting amount now for Mopsio. He actually went into the stacking quest on level 1 for Stitches and could now honestly get a lot of hit point regeneration in the late game in. Now, as I said, we can't keep track of stacks with this UI easily. I can every now and then, on the other hand, show the board here. Thankfully, we don't have a hero that relies on a lot of baseline stacks, because baseline stacks are actually not shown at all in the UI. But as you can tell, this little panel here just obstructs the screen pretty heavily. So far, Mopsio has a single stack, but we're going to keep an eye on it later on once again. So, down to the bottom of the map, a little bit of pressure against Ty. Well, it's not the only one. We have the hook against ETC, and Copenhagen goes down. So far, so good. I mean, Nothing Changed has actually had a really nice first game. I mean, they turned it around, despite the fact that their opponent got the 5th Protector on Volskaya Foundry. But now we have pretty much a halftime show, a very even one at that, from the 2 teams heading into the third game. And this is also the final map. I mean, the score is tied right now, but this is the third and the final map in this first tournament. The players can gather a few points. The damage is already in. And when we're talking immortal damage, if you have a setup with Sylvanas and Greymane, you obviously have a huge amount of burst against the objective. But on the other side, there's Hanzo, even though he didn't go into the Scadarrow build, still is able to pack a punch here. And Tyrande together with that 2+ Limming, who's always good for a bit of poke. But it is actually Granit Gaming who's able to get the first one. And I gotta say, Granit Gaming is playing really, really well with their 2 new players, with Chris and Korkmark after Fury and Svampgrotta left the team. Then again, nothing changed, obviously, with only one player that was swapped here. DAB and Nyx traded places. And right now, they are hoping for Nick to deliver the damage whenever that Stitches combo comes out. And Tyrande is trying to follow the hook up with another quick stun here. So far, hasn't quite worked out for them. But, well, there we go. Again, the little push straight into the bottom. And that's where Sylvanas unleashes, of course, even more of her potential by simply disabling the structures here and taking that apart. A bit of a stun into the backline, but that fort is down, and that's just fantastic value for objective number 1. Pretty much as good as it gets. Mopsio, then again, not really connecting a lot of these hooks here. Ooh, nice cocktail actually from Tai. Really well done by him. Gets additional damage in against Nick, and Hanzo needs to be cautious now. Tai himself gets healed. Needs to be a little bit careful. Lauba is coming in from the side, and that's the kill against Tyrande. The first one actually for Granit Gaming. But they have taken the lead now, not only in experience, but also taking the advantage when it comes to structures on the map. Everybody low for nothing changed. Could have even resulted in a few more heroes falling here, but they were able to keep the rest alive, so that was good. More of an avalanche opportunity here for Granit Gaming is not necessarily needed. With ETC holding the off lane, you can see that Granit Gaming hasn't really deviated away from their flexibility pick, which ETC for them oftentimes is. Normally, of course, Fury, one of the players that left the team, has been playing ETC, but Copenhagen is already adjusting to the team style here and can then drop into the stage dive if he really wants to hold the macro game open. Greymane doing his thing on the camp up towards the top now. He's trying to take that as quickly as possible. And the rest of the team is already pushing again. I mean, Chris is there, the entire gang. Time has the cooldown reduction on the dagger now on level 7. Having in addition to that, with level 7 talents, now also the Tenderize for Stitches. He wants to keep that ETC beef nice and tender the entire time here. But then again, for that to happen, he has to hit the hook first. And he connected a few, but it wasn't really a lot of forced ones that really resulted in the kill. But Immortal number 2 is going to be spawning now. And the level 10 that we're about to see for Granit Gaming is going to annoy nothing changed a lot with this one. So now getting damage in over here is going to be difficult as we have 2 heroes already defending. Stage dive is in, go for the throat over the cursed bullet, the wailing arrow, carrion swarm, and Malfurion with the tranquility in this game right now. Alright. And well, with that, we're now having once again the halftime show taken by Granit Gaming, so they're looking really good with that. But at the same time, I still want to see if that Stitches composition can really do anything. They have in theory really some nice combos open, but Granit Gaming has been playing around this quite nicely. In comes the aggression against Mopsio again, and ETC is creating a lot of space also with the face melt. Gets actually stunned out here for another second. Mopsio is moving in with his ult now too, using the Putrefile. They're trying to go for Nick, but he escapes, and Liming gets the kill against Greymane. Nicely done here. Tied down, but the counter kill against Tyrande. The bunker already on the ground. ETC falls, and a lead for nothing changed, but a big immortal for Granit Gaming. Nothing changed. They traded into a 2 versus 1, which was fantastic for them. But it's a big immortal they're going up against. And Chris hasn't fallen. Sylvanas is still in here, which means that we are going to likely have another fort fall, especially since Lauba is already occupying the rest of the blue team on the left side. They're even setting it up for a kill against Blekidne. Can't get that connected. But this one is about to go down. So right now the kill against Sylvanas, nicely done, but the fort has already fallen. ETC is at the bot lane, Lauba is going to drop too. Now Ganis is dead, and that immortal is still going to start pressuring through that wall, or at least going to take one of the towers down, I'd say. So yeah, 5 kills against 2 in favor of nothing changed, but kills don't mean jack shit if you're not able to take down structures and win the objective. At least not in the early stages. Later on in the games, kills become more important since the death timers are increasing. But right now, The only thing that they really net them is even experience, which is a big deal, to be honest. Even experience is great. But you have lost both of your forts, so catapults are slowly starting to push on both lanes against you. And if the next objective is being won by Granit Gaming, we're very likely going to talk about the first keep of the game being annihilated. So that is going to be a big problem here. Well, with that said, we're having, for the damage output, we can take another look at this. We have currently 23,000 for Hanzo, 21,000 for Sylvanas. ETC claiming the top lane position as he's trying to get additional experience for them, push a few lanes out, make sure that there's more pressure against the structures. The 2 kills both against Tyrande, obviously with the low hit point pool that she has and the low mobility, one of the primary targets for the red team. Granit Gaming is going to try and make that kill happen a few more times as all of this ebbs out. But they're also starting to wait more and more for the next objective. It's also a time where you can take additional camps. I mean, camps always give good experience. They have a fantastic setup to take the camps with Greymane, and ETC can then rotate bot side and use global to move up if there's trouble. So they have no problem here at all. 13 is ready for the 2 teams now. Both of them are relying on the next ability. And ETC is pushing out the bot lane. As I said, there is a catapult on the lane now too. So he can start really push this a little bit further towards the wall and help them out as the Immortals are about to be spawning again. The camp over here, still down for another 23 seconds. Could potentially be taken during the halftime show. But we already have Sylvanas in position for the defensive move. And up at the top, yep, there's where Nothing Changed is taking position now too. Bot lane, again, needs to be watched. But we're only 10-11 minutes into the game, so it's not like the catapults are going to have the power that they will have later on when we're hitting the 20-25 minute mark. Mopsio getting attacked there again as he's starting to poke his face out a little bit. Stitches on the money pick once more, and I still don't like that skin. That Stitches skin is just bad. Most people seem to like it. Most people are apparently like huge fans of it. I don't understand why. Lauba is not a fan of Stitches in general. He gets hooked and he gets blown to pieces. Even ETC jumping in can't help out here. Henning is also low. Oh, but they get the kill against Li Ming. Great play by Chris. They take down Stitches too. Are they actually turning the fight after their tank exploded this early in the setup? It seems like that's gonna happen here. 7 kills against 4. Bot lane still pushing slightly, but everybody is low now for Granit Gaming. Ty, they're coming in again. He wants to get the quick kill. Chris is also on the move and gets good damage in, and it takes down 2. Chris with the big plays, and it's nearly a 5-man team wipe. Only Li Ming is already back to business before they can drop everybody. 7 kills against 7. Another big push against the Immortal. And Chris is just absolutely murdering it here. Nice Sylvanas play by him. Let's take a quick look at his damage output. 33,000. Yeah, taking the top damage in the game for the time being. Nicely done by him. Very well played. Well, with that said, they're also burning down another Immortal. They're trying to go for another one. They're also half a level away from 16. It's looking great for Gem. It's going to be another big one. Chris is already moving over to the Shaman camp to take it before the Immortal is claimed. But that is going to be a big push now. Through the bot lane, I might add. The Immortal has done damage to the wall previously, topside, so the next Immortal therefore moves down to the bottom of the map. Actually, it's really close with both of them, but there's more damage done at the top lane anyways. But yeah, they have an opportunity now, and since ETC still holds on to the stage dive cooldown, we can use that too. 16 is ready as well. Everything is just hinting at Granit Gaming have a fantastic push now in the 3rd and final game of the series. So at this point, they are starting to jump in here once again. And Stitches is waiting for the hook. So far, nobody is presenting themselves as a prime target. He's trying to set one up, but without the fishing hook on level 16, it's also going to become a little bit difficult for Mopsio. Jump is in again. They're trying to make the play here. ETC comes through, slides in, pushes Tyrande out. But the Putrid Bile is on the ground and they can't quite get the kill. But the keep is definitely falling now. The keep goes down. That's already mission accomplished, but they would like to have a little bit more. Mopsio right now, by the way, 6 stacks only for him. Not a whole lot for his level 1 talent. And we're not seeing Hanzo completing his own quest either, but the core is falling slowly and steadily. Can they get kills here? That's a big question. Boss is low, so is the core. Boss down, the core at 64%. Stitches is dead as well, and Creme is going on a killing spree. Taking down Tyrande and Li Ming, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game, as we have Granit Gaming claiming victory in game number 3 on Battlefield of Eternity against Nothing Changed. They take the title, they take the victory in the first tournament of Season 2 of the HeroesHype Premier Series. GG, and well played.